Canva Docs is new functionality that they've just added to Canva that basically I've been waiting for since they announced it months ago. Like, I'm really excited about this. So when I saw that I had it today, I was like, oh, guess what we're doing tonight? So the idea is that it's going to let us design documents much like you can with Google Docs or Word or whatever, but more visual, more options, and using all the benefits of Canva. So we're going to walk through this together and kind of unravel everything that is there now. It is still beta, but it's pretty far along if they've started to release it on this level. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Hang on. Okay, here we go. So, hello and welcome. I actually was going to do another show tonight, but then I got access to Canva Docs, and I was like, oh, no, we have to talk about this right away, because I have been waiting for this since they made the announcement. So let's just back up for anybody who maybe is not completely up to speed with this, haven't heard about it yet. So Canva has added, or is in the process of adding, Docs to their suite of tools. And so you kind of think of it sort of like Google Docs or Microsoft Word type of thing. However, being Canva, they are going to take the approach of making it easy to create very visual, very engaging documents. So that means, supercharging it with things like videos and images and graphics and charts, and graphs, live graphs. And it also is going to give us the ability to do things like sharing the doc, doing collaboration. So like you can do in Google Docs where you're like more than one person can work on it at a time, converting it to other formats, including taking a document and turning it into a Canva presentation without all that copy pasting. A lot of good stuff. Now, if you don't have it yet, don't panic, because it is in beta, and they are in the process of rolling it out to the folks who signed up for the beta. And if you want to do that, let me show you where you can do that. Make this go away. So the links, of course, are in the description. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this one is in there too. So if you go to canva.com/docs, it'll give you the overview, which we'll walk through. But right now, the important thing that I want to share with you is that you can sign up to get access. And that way you're letting them know that, yes, you're willing to work on the beta. Now, understand betas are betas for a reason, right? It's not completed functionality, but it's definitely coming. So it's something to look forward to. So if you're at all interested in that, you can go ahead and sign up there. For the folks who are not new to it, I'll just spend a couple of minutes really quick. They've got a lot of information on the site about how they are expecting people to use it. But it's going to be a new option up in the menu, which we'll see in a second. And it's literally exactly like how you do things in Canva now, with some new amazing functionality that we're going to touch on. But, dragging and dropping, using all the tools that they have available, being able to, be able to like jump off and create, graphics and stuff to automatically put in your document or use existing stuff. You can also use the existing assets. All of the rules apply as far as if you are using a free account, then there's, art that you can use or elements that you can use that are free and paid. All the same rules like you do anything else. And then if you're paid, then of course, it's all included. Magic Write we're going to play with, but basically it's their AI for creating content. So we will touch on that. Collaboration, being able to do all this stuff from any device that you can use Canva on, being able to share it however you want. So lots of good stuff. And then like templates, all this kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of good stuff coming. And if you're this in particular, I know some people have been looking for this one here. So if you share your doc from Canva, you're going to get analytics back. Now, not every situation lends itself to that being a good solution, the idea of sharing it from Canva. But if that is something that's good for you, that will be a nice little perk for people. So yay for that. All right, so that's basically it. You can go and read all this stuff yourself, but there's a ton of different things in here, the usual questions and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to give you the quick, 2-second tour there to kind of cover the things that you might need in order to get up to speed if you've not seen this before. A couple other things I want to cover real quick before we dive into actually working through the functionality. And that is, where did I make my notes? I want to make sure we've got this here. So right now, it is, if you sign up for the beta, it is being offered to people with free and paid accounts. I have not been able to get clarity around whether or not it's going to be something that's a part of the free set or not. Or it could be that they're going to make it, available to the folks on the free accounts, but maybe not with all the bells and whistles. And in particular, there's one thing that I know for sure is going to be limited, at least in the beginning, for the free people. So just a level set for everybody. I think that is basically, oh, okay. So the other thing that I want to get out front is the fact that it is not, well, we'll cover that when we get to it. There's something about the AI part that we need to talk about. All right. So this, as always, like all things Canva, if you have access to it, when you get access to it, you'll be able to do it on your mobile device, which, by the way, I should plug in because it's going to die. On your mobile device, on your Chromebook, on your desktop, on your laptop, wherever you can access Canva, it's going to work, which means it's going to work with the Canva app, mobile, desktop, and in the browser. So basically, wherever you're used to using Canva or wherever you like to use Canva, it's going to be there for you. Alrighty. So I did ask earlier if anybody has access to it, and our friend Marcus has got access to it too. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, hasn't tried it out yet. So I'm guessing you signed up for the beta, or did they just give you access? I'm curious where they're at with the beta rollout. I did sign up, and the sign up is still there. So I'm guessing that's how people are doing it, but I'm just double checking. Doesn't hurt, right, to verify. All right, so we are going to look at this in the, actually, I'll show it to you in both, but the demo is going to be in the, what am I thinking? Sorry, I'm multitasking. It's going to be in the browser version because that's what I have loaded on this system, but it's exactly the same if you're in the desktop version. So we're all good there. Interesting. So that's exactly why I asked, because I've heard rumor that some people are just getting it even though they didn't sign up for it. So, hey, good for you. That's a definite bonus. I guess that's a good sign, because that means that they're looking for more and more people to give it a test drive, which means that they have a lot of confidence in where it's at, and with good reason. Okay, so let me switch over. Let's just dive right in here. I want that. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who don't like dark mode, that's fine. You don't have to use dark mode. I just prefer it. So what you're looking for to see whether or not you've got it is you want to look for this option. If you see this up in the top here, then you now also have access to it, much like Marcus and I do. And you'll also notice that, there's going to be some, hey, might want to try this kind of stuff. So those are the two things that will let you know right away whether or not you've got access. Okay. We'll just go ahead and dive in. They did provide a sample document, so let's start with that, just so you kind of get a feel. So when you get access, the first thing you're going to see, actually, do I have that up here too? Let's see. Nope, not that one. Let's try this one. Okay, let me, whoops, no, go back here. There we go. So when you first get access to it, this is going to pop up in whatever environment you're in, and it's going to give you the little overview. So this is something else you can keep an eye out for. I am hearing from some people that they got access without actually seeing this first, but just kind of give you a heads up. This is the other thing to look for. All right. So there we go. So this is the first document that they offer you, and they're combining, right? So they're showing you what a Canva doc can look like and also providing information to you. So you can see it's, exactly what you would expect, multiple, it's not multiple pages, it's one long page. And then you can come in here and you can, change type, and you can move things around to a certain degree. Like if for some reason you wanted this to be after that, you could do that. You can add and delete things, all that kind of good stuff. You can have backgrounds and stuff. You can do borders. You can use emoji. You can create art or use existing art. So lots of opportunities to try things out. There's also, let's go back home here. Okay. If you go into Docs here, there's useful information here at the top to kind of help you get up to speed with it. You can just dive right in and start to use it. But they've also, of course, this is Canva, right? And it's all about making our lives easier. So they have started to put out some templates. Now, there's not a ton yet, but there will definitely be more. Here, this makes it a little easier to see. So I think there's about, there's 30 right now. But, this is Canva, and they will keep adding and adding. But they've given us a nice variety to choose from to kind of, get a feel for what we might be able to do with it, and also to use as a jumping off point. So, my tip is always, by all means, go and use the templates that are out there. But make them your own, right? Do something to them so it doesn't just say template on it, go in and, customize it with your colors and your fonts and your images and that kind of stuff. But the nice thing about the template is, you're not staring at that blank sheet. You've right away got something to react to and work off of, and that makes life much, much easier from my point of view. Hello, Laura. How are you? Birthday girl. She's got a birthday coming up. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Always happy to have you cruise by when you can. All right, so let's go back. Seriously, I said go back. There we go. Why are you doing that? No. There we go. Okay. So, what do you think? Should we start with a blank one? Let's just start with a blank one so we can kind of test drive everything, and then we can go in and edit a template if you'd like. Oh, cool. Okay, so Marcus says that his did... Let me bring that up. When he got access to Canva Docs, the little icon did sparkle, which mine did too. I didn't get a chance to grab that, but yeah, that was a nice little way to catch your attention and say, hey, look, we got something new. All right, so if you come into a blank document, this is what you're going to see. And one of the things I want to point out, if you're on a paid account and you have set up your brand, like your colors and your fonts and all that, so if you look up here, this has actually defaulted to my brand font. Now, that doesn't mean you have to use it, but it's just there for you to get started with. I'm trying something new. Sorry for the extra hesitations here, but I'm test driving something new at the same time here. So that's where it's going to start off. Now, everything that you're going to do here is a combination of pulling things in like you're used to, but there's also this, you see this little plus sign here. This is the other key to success inside of this world. Let me get this out of the way for now. You're not going to go away? Okay, fine, be that way. So this is the magic slash, which is something that is available elsewhere inside of Canva, but they've really made it very out front and obvious here. If you've ever done any editing inside of Squarespace, this approach that they've taken here in Canva kind of reminds me of that a little bit. So if we click on this, it's going to show you the different things that you can use inside of a document. Magic Write, we're going to get into, but that's the AI tool that I was talking about. Design elements, it will give you like a top level, an H1 heading, an H2 heading, body text. You can do some embeds. We will test drive that. There's a certain level of success I've had with the embeds. You can do tables. Now, this is another way to do tables, and right now it's my favorite way to do tables inside of Canva. You could build out a checklist, a bullet list, numbered list. You get emojis to choose from. You can build out pie charts. You can build out bar charts, line charts. You can add a timer. You can use logos. And then, of course, they've got help available. So since Magic Write is at the top, should we start with that? Let's start off with the basics, and then we'll work our way to that. So an H1, right, will immediately give you that level of text. So this would be heading text. And like I said, it's defaulted to Code Pro Bold. But as always, you can come in here. I always highlight it. It just makes me feel better. You can come in here and you can change it to whatever you want it to be. You can adjust the font size. It defaults to 32, but you can adjust that however you want. If you wanted this to be a link, you would just click, when you hover over the element, then you get this option. Then you can come here and you could add links to other content that you have in Canva, or you can do external links. You can also copy and paste it if you want to reuse it. You can make a comment. So this is where the collaboration pieces come into it, so on and so forth. But let's say that, okay, we're good with that. And now I wanted to add some body text. So I just come down here and hit body text, and now you can just do text. Got to do hello world. It's a tradition. So again, this has defaulted to the font that I use in my brand kit. However, I can come in here and change it to whatever it is that I want to use. Let's see. So you see over here, let me actually highlight that for you. So here it is defaulting. Sorry, that's a terrible arrow, but it's defaulting to my brand kit automatically for me, which, you know, when I'm doing stuff that I need to be branded, that is a really nice, convenient little addition. But again, I can come over here and pick whatever I want. So let's see, let's try, what's another good body text font? Let's just grab something. Oh, fonts. I always go down such a rabbit hole. I can never just make the first choice. Let's try that one. I've not used that one, so let's try that one. Okay, and then if you wanted to do, you know, more body text, you want it to be a different paragraph, you could add that and do this. Or you can just keep adding to the one above it, however you want to do it. You know, if you decided that, you know, you came in here and you wanted to rearrange things, you could do that. But your basic elements here. Now, as I said, you can go ahead and you can just drag in elements too from either elements that you've used before in Canva or stuff that you want to try or whatever. You can resize, but this is the one thing, this was the first thing I ran into that I was like, ah, that's not what I was hoping for. You can move these elements up and down. You can resize them, but you can't reposition them yet. Now, I am sure that that is something that is coming, but for right now, this is what you're left with. And we can talk about a hack for this later, but, you know, if you don't want to hack, then, you know, you would want to leave it full size. So let's keep going. And you notice that every time I've added an element, then I get this little plus again, so that I can come back in and grab stuff. So let's say we wanted a heading 2 here. And again, it's defaulting to my base font for these types of things. I'm just going to leave that for now. Okay. And we'll do some more body. Oh, no, it just, oh, that's cool. So it does change it. So if you've actually selected something and you change that, then it will change the level that it's at, which is kind of cool. Won't change it back though, evidently. There we go. And more body text. We'll just throw some text in here. Okay. And we'll keep going on the text train here for a minute, just so we run through all those. So other things, maybe you want to add a checklist. So this is the first one, this is the second one, third one, and these are actually active checkboxes. So, you know, people can come in and when they're working on this document, they can select them and mark things off. Bulleted list. And again, you can change the fonts if you want. It's just giving you, it's just sort of, you know, trying to streamline things for you. And let's pick the next one. I just want to demo real quick all the different options so you can see what they look like. Numbered list does exactly what you would expect. It gives you numbers. Okay. What else? Are there any other text related things? And then emoji. So you can add emojis from the usual. There's the search. So let's say tree. I wish I was at the beach, but I'm not. That kind of thing. Let's say, I think that was it. Then we can get into tables and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you're curious about the logos, so this would bring in your logo. If you've set up your brand kit, again, it's going to bring it in at whatever size. You can resize it, but it is going to be centered for now. I'm kind of confused why they didn't right off give us a positioning option for that, but because usually there's a position up here elsewhere in Canva, but I'm sure it's coming. It's just not there yet. Okay, so does anybody have any questions just about that? If not, I will keep going. And let's go into Magic Write, right? You're all curious about that. I'll just give you a second in case you do have questions. Hey, Jason. All right, let's talk about Magic Write. So as you've probably heard around, AI is like the thing, right? There's AI for art, there's AI for content, all this kind of stuff. And there will be, and there already are starting to be a lot of different conversations around that. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I'm just going to put out there, because this is something that I don't think is getting enough press, and I just want it to be in everybody's consciousness. I'm not telling you to use it or not use it, but I do want you to be aware that the way that the AIs are getting their sample content that they're learning off of, and in some cases using as a starting point, is content that is online. So like the art ones are borrowing from artists who have their art out there, and the content ones are borrowing from content that's out there. There will be a lot of discussion around this, but just be aware that that is often the source for this AI that's coming. Regardless of how you feel about that or don't feel about that, the other thing I want to make clear before we get into the demo on this is that if you decide to use it, that's fine. No judgment from me at all. Anything we can find that streamlines our process and makes us more efficient is a good thing in my book in most cases. That said, you're not going to get the best results if you use AI exactly how you get it, right? So the idea of the AI is a starting point. It's much like templates in something like Canva, right? Great to go get them, right? They're already properly structured. They give you an idea on where to put an image and how to position your text and all that kind of stuff. But you're not going to just take a Canva template and put it out there, right? Because most of the time it's got dummy text in it or whatever, or it's not, for your particular content or the message you're trying to get out. So you take them, you use it, but then you adjust it and you change things to make it your own. And like I said, that could be the fonts. That's certainly going to be the text, logos, imagery, that kind of thing. So there's all of that. Marcus is very funny. Marcus knows my favorites. Marcus knows my favorite. So, okay, let's go ahead. I will. Let's go check. I'm pretty sure they're there, but let's go find out. Let's find the emoji. So if you don't want to scroll down all the time, you can go ahead and type here and it will, filter the list for you. So yes, of course, it has shrug. And okay, and what was the other one? Oh, yes, my other favorite. Facepalm. Oh, really? Then what? Maybe is it 2 words for this one? Ah, I lost it. Come back. It has to be here. Because I think it's just the standard. I think it's just the standard emoji list. Usually if I do it as 1 word, it comes right up. But it wasn't liking that. Ah, there it is. There, I figured it had to be there. There you go. My favorites are there. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this in the future, because that is, well, right. It's inspiration, but is that inspiration also stealing is really the question, right? Because they are taking things and using them. So we will get into that in another show. But I wanted to get it out there because I particularly feel bad for some of my artist friends, but also the folks who do content, right? I mean, that's people who write, have a right to getting the benefit from that effort. Okay, so anyway, I will save that particular rant for another day. All right, so let's go ahead now, and now that we've talked a little bit about it, let's take a look at Magic Write. So again, they're explaining, this is your AI-powered writing assistant, and they do position it right? They say it helps you kickstart or brainstorm ideas. Describe the text you want. See, this new process of mine, hopefully that'll be close enough. Describe the text you want, and Magic Write will generate content. Now, I do want to just give you a little bit of extra information around this, because I'm sure in the beginning everybody's going to play with this a lot. So right now, all of this is subject to change. Everything is based on the fact that this is beta and it's rolling out and things will change. But in this moment, when I'm recording this, December 2022, Magic Write is going to be available to free and paid accounts. However, it is not going to be available to the education tier of service. And the explanation that they've given for this is that they are trying to avoid students using it inappropriately or for their homework, so that kind of stuff. That we don't want to encourage students to plagiarize. We want them to do their own work. So there's that. The other thing is that the free account users right now are going to be limited to 25 lifetime tries of this particular functionality. That's not monthly, that's not yearly, that is, you use it 25 times on a free account, you're not going to be able to use it again. So basically it's the ultimate tease or taste test, depending on how you want to look at it. That said, even if you're on a paid account, there's a limitation. So if you're on a paid account, so that's pro or team, each individual user, right? So if you're just a pro user, it's just you using the account. If you're a team, you have multiple team members. Each user is limited to 75 uses of Magic Write a month. Now that's a reasonable amount, right? But it's just something to be aware of, because I'm sure, like, especially in the beginning, people are going to go in and be like doing this, and they don't really mention that up front. So I didn't want you to run through it, and then have nothing left, to actually try real work with. So just keep in mind, that's the limitations, 25 lifetime tries if you are a free Canva user. If you're on a paid account, it's 75 uses per month per user. Anything else? I think that was all the stuff about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it now. And let me take that down so we have room. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to give this the full test drive. Hit the try it out button. Now that little pop-up is only going to happen once, just so you're aware. So when you're in here, it's a little light. It's lightish gray text on a white background, a little hard to see. But you basically put in a general idea of what it is that you're looking for an example for. And everything I've seen and heard says the more specific you are, the better. So like their example here is, 5 tips on how to overcome writer's block. So let's think of something good for us. How about 5 ways to make money online, right? Who's not interested in that? And then it's going to generate, and it's going to give us an outline. Now, it's not limited to just outlines. Like, you can have it actually give you other text, but this is sort of a good example. Okay, so 5 ways to make money online: become a freelancer if you have a skill people are willing to pay for, start an online store, start a blog, become a virtual assistant, participate in surveys and focus groups. So it's now generated this text. And then, of course, you're going to want to come in here and, add your own, or maybe, you've got a like Fiverr and something else, and Upwork. So, you're going to want to adjust it and change things around. You know what? I haven't tried. Let's see. Does this do? It does. It gives us line spacing. Does it give us line spacing for the paragraphs? No, it's line spacing for the lines. Oh, that's disappointing. Okay. So my hack for that is I just come in and I do a soft return at the end. Let's see if that's going to work. Yep, that'll work. When you've spent a part of your career designing documents, you want to make it easy for people to read. So there you go. So you would come in here, you would edit this, but now you've got this. And just like everything else, if you wanted to move this up or down, you can just go ahead, because this is a whole block. And again, if you're working with a team, they can come in and make comments on it, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty fast, but not, and this is not a bad example, to be honest. So let's try another one. Let's see. Can you say, how about blog content with, how about ideas for, what was something that you would do a blog post for? Coming up with these ideas is always hard. I probably should have thought of them ahead of time. Unless anybody's got an idea, you can throw it into chat. What's a good blog post people like to go and read about? For Tips for planning a bike tour. I have no idea. Okay, let's see what that comes up with. Dinner or food? Oh, see, that's perfect, John. That's what I should have done. So here we go. Planning a bike tour can be an exciting and rewarding experience. We will help preparation. We can help make sure your tour is a success. Here are some tips. And then a list, and then some more content down there. So, okay, not too shabby. So does that sort of give you the feel and the idea for the kind of thing you can do with this? There are a bunch of tools out there right now for this. So what's nice about this one is that it's just built right in here. So again, one of the reasons I'm such a big fan of Canva is that you don't have to break out of your workflow to go and do something, right? You can do everything right inside that world. And this is just another example of that, right? Yes, you could go, there are other AI text tools out there, but this kind of just makes it easier because it's right there in front of you. And as long as you haven't gone over your threshold for the month, you're okay, or your lifetime. All right, so let's go ahead and do something else with this. What should we try next? Maybe we'll try, let's do the design thing next, because that's kind of cool. Or at least personally, I think it's kind of cool. So let me just come and do this again. So, and by the way, let's do this. I think, here, if I come up here and I just hit a return and hit return again, that breaks out of that list. So let's say I knew that, like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, okay, yes, I'm building out this content. I'd really like to have the image here. Now you could do the image down here, and move it up, or you can just go ahead and put the cursor where you want the next element. So design is going to open up a little pop-up window, which is a UI designer I'm generally not a fan of, but this is not too bad of an idea. And this brings up an area for you to do your image in. So let's go over here and find, let's see, food, birthday, New Year's, thank you. I don't know. Let's find something sort of blog posty. That's okay, I guess. How about, let me try, let's see what happens if I put in bike. We started on a theme, let's stay on the theme. All right, so here, let's bring this in. Maybe we'll do one of these and do this. Let's make them bigger. We'll do sort of an artsy overlap thing. Like that. Put that there, and then bring in some text. And planning a bike tour. Obviously you would spend more time on this. I'm just slamming something together here. Come on. There we go. Nice and big. Right, and then put that here. Tips and ideas. I mean, this is more of a rough sketch. But so, you come in here, you do whatever you want, you build out whatever you like, and then you're going to come up here to this right corner here. So up here, because we're in this pop-out window, so we're going to click on this, and it's going to automatically take my wonderful piece of art and populate it right into the document where I had that element set up. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me remove that. And I'm going to click. It's going to take a second and put it right in here for us. So when you're looking to add things, again, this depends on your workflow. So for me, most of the time, I need to do my text, and then I go back and look for ways to add some visual representation of some of the key ideas. But every so often, I'll be going along and I'll be cranking out the text, and the idea for the image pops into my head right away. This is going to work really well for me because I don't have to break my flow. I can quickly go and do this like I would do this kind of a rough sketch. This might not be what I actually publish, but just to get the idea down and out of my head and then go back to the writing, as I'm doing it, and I can do this as much as I want going back and forth. So that for me, again, is going to be another win. I don't know, your mileage may vary and probably will, but that is the kind of thing. So Marcus says, it looks like Canva is constantly evolving and innovating. That's pretty cool. Yes, and that's what I love about them. They are constantly giving us new stuff. And they had I guess like a convention earlier this year. I don't remember if it was February, March. It was earlier in the year where they like announced all kinds of new stuff that were coming. And there's a lot of cool stuff. And some of it's already come out. And some of it is going to be like first of next year. This is one I was like, I want this yesterday. And so the other thing is that they use, and I won't get too geeky about this, but they use a process that is pretty popular in software design now, which is get something out and then make it better. So there are things in this version of Docs that I'm kind of like, okay, a choice was made here because I would have made sure that a feature was included a little differently, but it will come because they're constantly evolving and adding things to it and making things better. And that's, one of the things that really impresses me is they're not resting on their laurels at all. They continue to innovate and add new things and try new things. If you keep an eye out, I think it's happening for free and paid users. They're constantly adding little beta tests inside of their apps. So on the left side, there's all those icons. And if you scroll down, there's ones where you can add additional applications, and they're constantly adding different kinds of things in there. So pretty cool. Like, for example, they've already had for quite a while the AI for graphics floating around out there, which I played with a little. So yeah, minimal viable product. Yeah, I wasn't going to go that geeky, but yeah, since you're up to date on that terminology, that's how all of the Scrum teams like to talk about. We won't go there. I won't do that to you people. That's my day gig, and my brain lives there most of the time. But yeah, that's what management likes to throw around, and it can work. And Canva is one of the teams that I see doing it right, because too many again, side note here, but too many people think that means that's all you do. But that's not how you do this. What you do is what Canva's doing, right? You come up with a long-term roadmap, and then to get to that roadmap, then you do minimal viable product. That's the right combination. But anyway, that's a rant for another day when you people are really bored and want me to geek out on what I do for a living in the day gig. Okay, so let's go back. Sorry, this was bound to be a distraction because I'm really excited about this, but I'm also every time I look at something like this, I can't help but look at it from my job as a software designer and engineer, as well as an end user. So there's that. Okay, so let's keep going. I really didn't want this to be another hour show, but that seems to be the theme for the month. So maybe we'll just call December the hour-long show theme. All right, so we did Magic Write, we did design, we did headings and usual text kind of stuff. All right, so let's do the embed. So I was really, really excited about this. And it's okay. It's okay. So let me go and just get something to show you as an example. Actually, I'm going to get 2 examples. So I have secretly been wanting this for some of my client work. I really need to be able to put some HTML in there. And, well, you sort of can. So let me show you the one that worked for me. I think this was the embed. I may be misspeaking, but you know what? Let's go along for the ride here. We're testing something new for the first time. So let me go in and just don't want to grab somebody else's content. I don't use people's content without permission. So let me just go and grab a previous video. How about this one? Can I get the link here? Of course not. Why should I be able to get the link there? No, don't play any sound. We don't want to listen to me twice. Share. Okay, so I'm going to drag this over so you can see what I'm doing. So what I've done is I've gone into a previous video, right? And then when you go into share in YouTube, you get some different options. Most people just come down here and copy the link, and we can give that a test drive. But there's also this embed thing. So we're going to start here because people who do this a lot are probably going to go for this option first. So you just copy it. And then, oops, I got to select it again. And then you say embed, right? Because that's what this is called. And so I went and I tried to try this, and I'm expecting it to fail like it did last time. So it's going to try to do something with it. And we're waiting and we're waiting. Okay. And it says we encountered an error with the link provided. Please try again, blah, blah, blah. So even though they're calling this an embed, That's not really what it is. Okay, I mean, if we're going to get a little geeky, and clearly I'm going there. So embed text, for anybody who's interested, is a specific type of HTML code that does specific things. I won't get into too much detail unless you really want me to. So what you really want to do here is just grab the link. So you're going to say copy. Now, you know what, let's try it. You can also, just as an aside in YouTube, so like if you wanted to share at a certain point, you could come in here and say share, and you could select this start at. I think that'll work. So we'll copy that, and I'm going to minimize it, and then I'm going to paste that here. And if it works like it did 2 hours ago, yes, it's going to put that video in here. Now let's see if it's going to start at that point. Come on. Okay, it should be playable, but I don't know why it's not playing right now. Maybe I have to publish it in order for it to play. But anyway, that is, oh yes, you people are going to be getting a lot of comments from me, but not right now. Go away, go away. So the idea is that you can actually go ahead and input stuff. So let's try something else. So I spend a lot of my life in Amazon. No surprise to anybody who knows me. And in Amazon, you can get, if you're a member of Amazon Associates, you can get links to share. So I'm going to get your traditional just link, do copy, and we're going to do another one of these. And we're going to do an embed, which you're going to hear from me because it's not really an embed. So this is just a URL, a shareable URL that I can get for being a part of Amazon Associates. Okay, and it does work, right? It will bring it in and it will do it. Now again, you can't adjust it. You can resize it, but you can't reposition it left or right, but you can move it up or down. But it's there and it's clickable and it would take somebody through to the thing. Now Amazon also offers you these formatted versions of this type of a link that has, it's usually more vertical or there's a horizontal version, but it's the image and more of a description and the price and a button to encourage the people to click on it. Those don't work either. And those are true embeds, right? Those are a true embed thing. So yes, you can bring in things from the web, but not everything you're going to try to use, at least in the beginning, is going to work. Hopefully that will change over time. I'm certainly going to do my part to try to at least get the Amazon ones to work. But just be aware that when you're given a choice on whatever platform you're trying to bring your content in from the web to your Canva doc, if it gives you a link option and it gives you an embed option, try both. You won't break anything by doing it, but 9 times out of 10 right now, the actual link is going to work and not the embed. So there's that. Yeah, so, okay, this is the perfect time for this question. Thank you. I promise I did not pay him to say this. So Marcus is asking, is this only in endless mode, which is an option in Google Docs, or does it also break into pages? And the answer is yes. So it is in endless mode when you're in editing, but if you want to print it as a PDF or whatever, you have the choice of doing it either way. So yes, the answer is yes. Sorry, but that's how things are broken out in this. Whoops. All right, so let's go back here and try something else. Actually, I should slow down. Does anybody have any questions about these things? Or so let me open another. I think I can do that here. Let's go home. Let me just show you. So anybody who's not used to working in Canva, let me just show you what he's talking about. So here I'm going to open up the show card I did for this. So in most of Canva, when you're working on something, you've got this add page feature down here. I'm going to highlight that for you. Okay. That's what Marcus is looking for. He's noticed that as I've been working on this, the page just keeps getting longer, but there's not this particular option because he's eagle-eyed and he doesn't miss a thing. So yeah, that is definitely a change, a difference in how these documents are working. And that's interesting. It didn't open it in a tab. Hopefully I didn't lose everything. Nope. Okay, there we go. So you'll notice that this just keeps getting longer and longer as I add things. So that's the difference. That's what he was talking about. Okay, so let's keep going. We've been through a lot of these. I won't do everything in such detail. So, but like the table, that's pretty cool. So this is a pattern that you've probably seen in other editors. So you can just by dragging your cursor decide how many rows and columns you want. So let's just do that. Come on, there we go. And then it actually adds it for you down here. And then you can just start, typing, into these different elements here. At this point, now let me see, because, things change. So, and you can rearrange columns and all that. I've done a little bit on the different table options in here. You can merge cells, you can format different cells. But I just want to see, if it's going to give us any of the text editing options, and it doesn't look like it does. So, you could make this a heading, right? And then you would come up here and, format it however you want. So maybe bold and this, and maybe a different color. So you can do all that kind of stuff. You can do fill backgrounds, all that kind of thing. I think, well, let's find out. Let's go up here and grab the emoji. Let's grab one and say copy. I think we can do this. Yes. So you can put emojis. You probably can put images in here. So there's a lot of flexibility with this. So this is where you could have a hack. So let's give that hack a try. So let's say, let's go and just grab an image. So let's go here to the elements. And let's just grab this. Let's see if we can actually put this in. Yes. So this goes back to the early HTML days, but you could, if you wanted to have an image and have text next to it. So let's go here. You could do this kind of a thing. And merge cells and merge cells. And so this is a way that you could get that layout until they fix it, which I'm sure they will. But this is a way that you could get that kind of a layout. Now, obviously, you wouldn't have these other rows on it. You would just do it for however many rows, like maybe 1 row or 2 row, depending on how you wanted your layout to look. And you would come in here and you would turn off the lines, so that's not so obvious. Let's say, can you just, yeah. So up here, you can turn off this gray line. That would give you that side-by-side text look that right now is just not available as part of the layout. Like I said, I'm sure it's going to come, but if you really need to do something short term, this is a good hack that has worked for years. In the early days of HTML, that's how you used to do things. So yes, Marcus is so good. I swear I'm not paying him to ask these questions. So that design feature that we used before where, you went in and you got the pop-up and then you could bring in the text and all that. You could absolutely do this with that. So let's do that. We'll just grab this, right? So this is kind of that, right? So you've got text and then you've got this image. So here we'll just do hello world again. And then save it. And that would definitely bring it in this way. The difference is that it won't be treated as text. It will be treated as an image, which in many cases will be absolutely fine. And I think if you double click on this, I think you're supposed to be able to go back and edit it. Let me see if I'm lying to you. Edit design. So if you needed to go back and change it, it's not like you're locked into it. Like you could come back here and change it however much you want. Where it would be a problem is if somebody who is using your content is using any kind of a screen reader or whatever, or if they're needing to make the font size bigger so they could read stuff, because this is treated as an image in your document, it's not going to resize that way because it's going to treat the whole thing as an image. So there are ways at different browsers that you can bump up the font, so people who have problems with their eyesight can use it. Also, like I said, actually, that's a fault here. I'm going to have to add that in too. You can't make this accessible by adding alt text. So there's some accessibility issues around doing it that way, but in some scenarios, that's absolutely a valid way to go. So yes, the answer is definitely yes. So it's 2 different ways to do that there. Does that make sense? Let me know. There's a little bit of lag here, so I'm just going to vamp while I'm waiting to see if that made sense. Okay, I'm not hearing anything back, so I'm guessing it's okay. So again, I'm not going to get into this too much. We've kind of covered this, but the all of the functionality that okay, thank you. It made sense. Great. So let's just talk about the charts. The charts are basically the functionality that we've seen, they've added elsewhere because they acquired that company that does the charting software. So I'm not going to get into this in too much detail. I've done other videos on that you can go and check out. But basically, you can come in here and, you can set your values and it will adjust on the chart accordingly. And you can come back and you can change, the colors and all that kind of stuff. There are ones that you can make dynamic, so you can tie them to a live source that feeds the data in. So there's a lot of different functionality in this, and for corporate work, they're going to love this. So pie chart, bar chart, all of the things that you would expect, and then you can go in and do whatever editing you want on it. I'm just going to put them in here so you can get a sense of what they look like. But all the colors and all that kind of stuff, you have total control over. And I think we just have one more after this, which I think is the timer. So I'm not clear, to be perfectly honest, what this is for, because it's not a part of the document. So I'm going to play with this some more, but I'm just going to touch on it. So this gives you a timer. You can set, the amount of time you want on it. You can reset it. You can have an alarm on it. You can, let it count down. My initial guess is that maybe this has something to do with the collaboration. Like maybe you're going to do some brainstorming, and so that's what that's here for, because it doesn't seem to be a part of the document. You see how it's positioned off here. I'm going to keep obviously playing with this and testing and seeing like if there's any way that I can export this, that it actually maintains it. But I did just want to mention it because it is in the list. But there you go. And then just for, anybody who's concerned, yes, anything that you can do inside of Canva, for example, any uploads that you've got. So here, let me find, okay, so here's a meme that I did for a meme show, right? So anything that you have access to in Canva, you can use in your documents. Let's see what else. Let's just find, so like if you like these kind of lines, and you notice like I'm able to drag it and position it where I want. So these are all just pieces. Oops, let me move this up so you can see it happen. So these are all just elements that are available inside of Canva. All the good stuff. Animations you can use, titles you can use, images, graphs, like anything that you've got in here, you can go ahead and plug in here. So you're not limited to the stuff that you're accessing through the magic menu. The magic menu is just a really quick shortcut for things that you're probably going to use most often, but you're not at all limited by that. Marcus is typing on the iPad. Yeah, no problem. Between, typing on the iPad and just the general lag in, live streaming, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's that kind of thing. So it's collaboration, the Pomodoro method, all those kind of things. I think that's what that's there for. I wasn't sure because I could see having a timer that you could put. Actually, I wonder if we have timers here. Do we? Probably, I guess. I was thinking like you could do some sort of countdown timer, if you're maybe building out a promotional kind of page. And it's a short-term kind of a thing, but yeah, I guess we don't have timers in here. Gee, I'm surprised. I guess that's coming someday soon. So what else? Oh, so the other thing I guess I should talk about is, so after you create your masterpiece, and wow, isn't this a masterpiece? Like, don't you all want a copy of this document? I was just showing you things. So you can come up here. Let me take this off of here. And let me highlight this. So if you look up here in this corner, right, so you've got your usual, options that were up here. This first one is convert. So with convert, what you're going to do is quickly turn this into a presentation. Now, I'm not going to do that because we threw a lot of stuff in here, so it'll take too long. But very often that's what happens, especially in the corporate world. You'll work on a document and then, your manager is like, hey, I want to, present this, make a slide deck out of it. Well, this makes life much easier because instead of having to do, 2 hours of copy pasting, the tool will do it for you. And then you can just go in and adjust it. And of course you can pick templates and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to do that right now because it would take too long, assuming it will let me out. The other thing is that you do have share options, right? So you could share this directly from Canva. And like I said, if you do that, like if you just get a link, then you'll get analytics on it, and you can specify, certain people or anybody with the link, that kind of thing. You can also download this, and you can specify the paper size. So that's where I was talking to Marcus before. Like, so when you select the paper size, then it's going to give you, it's going to break this, into whatever paper size you pick. And it's right now. So this is grayed out. So right now it's going to give it to you as a PDF in standard format. I'm sure over time they will expand that to be the higher res version of PDF and all the other options. But right now the option we have is just download. And so you would click that, and then it would bring it down for you as a document that you could share offline. Let me check my notes, see if I missed anything. We talked about collaboration, photos. Okay, I think I hit all my points. Do you have any questions? Is there anything you want me to show you? Do you want to like grab a template and work with it, or are you good? You just want to go play? Let me know. For those of you who are new around here, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Kathleen. I do technology as my day gig and my hobby. So people in my life come to me for advice and all that. And plus I play with all these kinds of things. So that's why I do this show every week, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time. You are always welcome to come and hang out in chat. Or you can watch the replay. If you have any questions, comments, you can go ahead and put those into the comment section. Or you could reach out to me here, yourtechcoach.com. There's a contact form there. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have an idea for a show, go ahead and reach out. If you want to make an appointment, if you want to do a consult, there are options for that too. So that's that whole spiel. All right, so we're good. Like I said, when you're coming in, you do have the option. Whoop, let me bring this back up. So that was just my, trash document to kind of quickly show you the different options. But as I mentioned, you can come in and you can pick a template and just do what you like with it. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I said template. Oh, docs. Here we go. So you can come in here and pick a template. So let's see, what's a handy template? And these can be a real lifesaver. So let's look for, okay, so like a weekly planner. Let's say you wanted to start using this to create planners for yourself or for your team or your organization or whatever. You could just go in and grab it. It's loading it. And maybe you hate this color. That's fine. You can come in and change the color to whatever you want it to be. You can change the font. You can do all the things, just like any other template inside of Canva. You can come in, you can change the text. So you have all of the functionality that you would expect, but this could be a huge time saver because it makes it very easy for you to grab things and, make changes. Maybe you don't want that there. That's fine. You can remove it. And if you need to add elements to it, you can, add other tables, all that kind of stuff. So all of the functionality that you expect is here. It's just a great way to get started quickly. Okay. So I'm not seeing any questions, and I think I've vamped enough to address the lag and typing issue. So I would love to hear from you folks what you think about this. If you're going to give this a try, if you already have it, like Marcus got it as a surprise. So I hope that you'll come back and let me know in the comments how you're using it, what you think of it. And remember, they do, that little thing popped up while we were doing that, right? They are asking for input. So don't be shy. If there's something you'd like or something you think would, should work differently or something that's missing, squeaky wheel gets the grease, and that's never more true than in the software world. So if you have thoughts, if you have, ideas for things that you want, things that would make it more efficient for you, do let them know, because the things that they hear over and over will be the next things to make it onto their to-do list. So there you go. Marcus, you are so welcome. And thank you for coming to hang out and asking all those great questions at exactly the right time. I love when that happens. So I hope everybody is having a good end of year. I will be doing the show next week, so I will be here. I'm not sure what topic it'll be yet, but if you want to know in advance, you can sign up for the mailing list, yourtechcoach.com/mailing list, or if you follow, subscribe, depending on what platform you're on, you will get notifications. So that's another way to get notified when I go live. All right. Get out there, build your documents, share them. Let us see what you're doing with them. I'm curious to see how people are going to use it, because there's a lot of capability in this. And I think it's going to take away a lot of the frustration that people have when they're trying to create these kinds of highly visual documents in other tools right now. Not that you can't do it, but it's harder and you don't have the whole library of elements to work with. So for me, this is a game changer. I'm really looking forward to working with this. Take it easy, everybody. Another hour show. Okay, that's it. It's a new theme, John. It's going to be December is the hour-long show because that's what's happening. All right, we will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye.